The talk is entitled An Uncommon Introduction, and I'm overflowing with all kinds of emotion. And we're just going to get into it. And that little line there says a lot. The word former. I was the CEO of Heritage Family Services for the better part of the last decade. You can read that for me too, because I can't read it myself. On September 5th, I had an extremely traumatic experience in my own office at work, in the workplace. The timing of that and everything that we've learned, and I was learning ahead of this, someday I'll make sense of it. Today I'm just going to sit, as Theo says, in my shit. That event was so traumatic, I couldn't go back to work. It was so traumatic, I literally had to get in the Volkswagen Jetta I bought for my 15-year-old daughter and drive it to Victoria, where me and Bob, who had known each other for all of 10 minutes on a Victor walk in Red Deer. My wife still calls you crazy because you didn't even know who I was. I emailed him, I said, I need to leave, I need somewhere to go. He said, get your butt over here. And it was amazing. So now I'm serving in an interim role as research and development for Heritage. I love being the CEO. I'll get to talk a little bit more about that. I love being the CEO. I had an experience buying this couch for this conference in the store with a price tag on it, and I got to say to the guy at the till, who I was trying to work him down in price. I was trying to get it for free, but he wouldn't do that. I said, well, hold on a minute. I have to call my CEO. So I called Maynard and asked him, this is weird, man, but do we have the money? Because I don't even know, because I'm not there. And yet we had set the intention, and we had charted the course for this conference months before. And I'm just the joyful recipient today of so much knowledge and learning in this space. I have not been at work. This is what I want to say about this. I have not been at work. I've been at work maybe 4 days since September 5th. I've been in therapy, lots of therapy. I would recommend hypnotherapy, wonderful. Kim Berbe, who's sitting over there, poured her heart and soul into this in my absence. And you have come, and this has been tremendous. And I want to thank you for coming. It's been amazing. Kim asked me what I was going to speak about tonight. And even though I've had that at the bottom of every email that I've sent for the last 5 years, I can't read it without being overcome with pain, trauma, healing in the brain. Okay, I'm a bit worked up and I want to do an exercise. I need your help. I need to breathe. I need you to breathe with me. So as I lift my hand up, we're going to breathe in, and as I put it down, we're going to breathe out. Okay? Can we try that? Can you help me? Okay. Thanks. What did we just do? When you breathe in a state of oneness. What do I mean by that? We all breathe in the same moment, at the same time, but that isn't all that's happening. In those moments, in every moment, we breathe as one with all humanity on the planet. Wrap your mind around that for a minute. We breathe, you breathe right now, with all humanity on the planet. But that's not all that's happening. We're breathing with all creation. As you breathe in and out, the trees and the plants are making the oxygen for you. And it's all happening in the same moment. I've heard it a couple times here and there. It's all happening in the now. At the exact same time. Breathe with me. Here's the big question that I've been faced with. I've come through this period of time. I actually went to my friends and had the hardest meetings I've ever had, where we agreed that I wouldn't be a CEO, and then I came back and disagreed with it and hated it and fought against it and got pissed off and got angry and had to come back in and apologize for traumatizing my own friends. And I committed, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to get better. It's going to be good. And so they gave me a research project. And part of that research project is synergizing the knowledge that we've gained through the research project throughout an organization with hundreds of staff that work with traumatized children. It's one thing to say, it's one thing from a group of managers to get together and create a proposal for the government that would say, this is what we do. We're trauma-informed. It's trauma-informed practice at Heritage Family Services. It's one thing to write that proposal. Does the foster parent, sorry, I won't pick on him, does the staff in the vehicle with the child on the way to the movie theater, on the way to the supermarket, let's do that. Does the staff with the child on the way to the supermarket, do they have that same knowledge? How do you ensure that they do? Well, we're going to do it the same way we co-created our culture. Breathe with me has in it the spirit of Wakotoing. We heard Beverly speak about that a bit today. And this is this is how we're going to go about it. We're going to set the intention, hold the conversation, and co-create the future together. This is how a group of staff created our culture. This isn't our culture, by the way. I'm going to get to that. This is who we are. What's this? It's an org chart. We all had those, right? Heritage Family Services was organized much like this, not exactly like that, was organized much like this for the majority of our history. Do you know that there's a philosophy behind this? There's a philosophy behind organizing things like this. Let me ask you a question. If this is the org chart for Starbucks, and that's the CEO, where's the customer? Do you know why we don't write the customer on an org chart? Because it looks like crap. That's why we don't write the customer on an org chart. What about when you're a human services organization? Alberta Health has an org chart like this. Do they write their patients here? No, they leave them off. Why? Because it looks like crap. We took the words that weren't on the page and we made them the biggest letters on the document. One person. We flipped it. We co-created a culture together. I can't get into talking about it because I only got 18 minutes and I'm probably over time. Anyway, with what I want to share. I would love to come and talk to you about our 5-year journey on creating the culture at Heritage Family Services and how we flip the organization. Put the persons that were not on the org chart in the front and center of the org chart. Who's the next? When you go to the barista, I'm gonna get into this talk. I gotta speed it up. When you go to the barista at Starbucks, when you go to Starbucks, who has more impact over the culture at Starbucks? Sorry, flipping too much. This person or this person? This person or this person? The barista, right? The barista has more impact on your experience of the culture of Starbucks. There's our core staff right there. They have more impact than the CEO ever will. Where to now? How do we synergize what leadership understands with our practice in the vehicle? How do we take the vision and knowledge from leadership and ensure that that is our experience every moment of every day for those kids? That's a big, big question. We do it in the basement. I used to have an office upstairs. I tried going upstairs a couple of times. It doesn't work for me. I can't do it. Too many triggers. So I'm in the basement. And I get back in the car. When we created our culture, I met with every single staff member at Heritage Family Services, and I asked them the question, why are you here? What do you believe in? And we co-created the culture together. I'm going to get back in the car, and I don't even know what the questions are yet. We're going to find the questions that will drive the change that we want. An organization that is trauma-informed at its core. We're going to find the questions, and we're going to get back in the car, and we're going to go ask. And we're going to set the intention, hold the conversation, and co-create the future together. There are many, many things to know when it comes to trauma-informed practice. One of my favorites, neurological plasticity. Yeah, I wish I could talk for an hour on that. There's so many things to know. My recent experience has taught me that there's one critical thing you need to know. Know thyself. Kim, you've talked expertly about this. Know thyself is this idea of know what is you in that triggering moment when the kid is saying, fuck you. Know what rises inside of you isn't the child, that's you. Know thyself. How do you know yourself? There's the mind-body connection. I could talk for an hour on that too. We'll just go to introspection. Introspection. What I would encourage is for you to find a safe relationship with. I didn't get my crappy drawing of 2 stick men up on the board, but if you can imagine, I could show it to you. You wouldn't be able to see it. You can come up later, I'll show it to you. Imagine a stick man, and around him is a whole bunch of words. Love, joy, peace, anger, frustration, so on and so forth, all around him. His whole emotional self is this cloud. And that's life without introspection. Life without introspection means when I come up to you and I say, hey, why the hell did you do that? You lose your shit on me and punch me in the face. That's life without introspection. Life without introspection is our emotional self reaching out and grabbing on to things. What is life with introspection? Take that same picture and around every one of those words, through introspection, inside safe relationship, draw a brick around every one of those words. And the foundation of knowing where your own anger comes from, knowing what your own joy really is and what it looks like, knowing who you really are. And then, when that person comes up to you or slams their cart into your car in the parking lot, Kim, you've shared so many stories that amaze me. The story of the of the bus where the lady makes a comment about your fat ass. and your ability to know that yourself, to know that what is rising up in you isn't you, that is her, and to bring it back down through a breath. My next favorite, exploring the vagus nerve. I could talk for an hour about that too. We talk a lot about the brain, trauma healing in the brain, the vagus nerve. What is the brain? The brain is a group of neurons, right? Brain cells, group of neurons. What is the vagus nerve? The vagus nerve, what are nerves? Let's start there. What are nerves? Nerves are single cells. Did you know that? We used to say nerve tissue. Nerves are single cells. The vagus nerve, there's some single cell nerves in your body that are 3 feet long. A single cell that is 3 feet long. The vagus nerve starts here. You ever get that sour feeling? When you get sour, you get it in the gills? That's the vagus nerve. Right back behind your ears. The neuron of the vagus nerve is in your brain. The nerve extends down to all of your internal organs. Wait a minute. It's a cell that originates in the brain. Doesn't that make it a brain cell? Go with your gut. Find yourself here. Know thyself here. Know yourself in that triggering moment with a child, with somebody else, in the workplace, at the supermarket, or wherever. Know thyself. Breathe. And thank you for breathing with me. And there's so much more that's next. Mindfulness, epigenetics. Ooh, I could talk about that for an hour, but I'm not going to. And I just wanted to say thank you. I want to thank you for your positive energy, which helped pull me through, which was a fairly hard start. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care.